Ashley Judd delivered critically praised silver screen performances in the early 90s, but her red-hot film career cooled considerably thereafter. And behind the scenes, she was quietly enduring a difficult life. From devastating childhood circumstances to her allegations against a now-disgraced Hollywood producer, these are the tragic details about Ashley Judd. The daughter of legendary country singer Naomi Judd, Ashley experienced a childhood rife with challenges that would follow her for the rest of her life. In 2014, a National Enquirer report claimed that Ashley and her half-sister, singer Wynonna Judd, were embroiled in a messy legal dispute when the actress was reportedly awarded custody of Wynonna's daughter, Grace, after she accused her mom of verbal abuse, pill-popping, and boozing. In the midst of this family drama, ABC News reported that Ashley had also filed a police report in 2013 after an auto mechanic found a wireless GPS tracking device hidden in her Mini Cooper. According to the report, detectives noted, Ashley believed Wynonna had placed or had someone else place the device on her vehicle. Ashley later issued a since-deleted statement on her website, declaring, "The issue at hand is the illegal violation of my privacy and that a tracking device was secretly and unlawfully placed on my vehicle. For my safety and that of everyone around me, I naturally filed a police report, as any citizen would and should." Judd is both an assault survivor and a staunch pro-choice activist. During a panel for the Women in the World Summit in 2019, she opened up about both issues while discussing legislation that had recently been passed in the state of Georgia, which would ban abortions if a fetal heartbeat is detected, something that can occur before a woman even realizes that she is pregnant. The bill was, quote, permanently blocked in July 2020 when a judge determined it violated the U.S. Constitution, revealing that an assault once led her to becoming pregnant, Judd shared.
I'm a three-time rape survivor, and one of the times I was raped, there was conception, and I'm very thankful I was able to access safe and legal abortion.
As Judd explained, the perpetrator lived in Kentucky while her legal residence at that time was in Tennessee. If a child had been born, the man who assaulted her would have had paternity rights in both states. In 2001, Judd married three-time Indy 500 racing driver Dario Franchitti. But after more than a decade of marriage, the couple made a shocking announcement in 2013, saying in a statement via People magazine, "We have mutually decided to end our marriage. We'll always be family and continue to cherish our relationship based on the special love, integrity, and respect we have always enjoyed." Less than a year after their separation, Judd demonstrated her loyalty when Franchitti broke his ankle in a horrific crash during the Grand Prix of Houston per UPI. Rushing to be by his side, Judd thanked her Twitter followers for their prayers, writing, "I have only clothes on my back and the dogs, but that's all that we need, and we are on our way." The following year, Judd opened up about her ex-husband in an interview with Ladies' Home Journal, sharing, "He'll always be my loved one. What we're showing them now is we're human, we're family, and this is what family looks like." Judd has been candid about her lifelong struggle with mental health, recalling in her memoir, All That Is Bitter and Sweet, that she first experienced depression as a child. She added, "My journey with the disease of depression progressed as I grew older and many times nearly killed me."
You know, we all have really deep needs for connection, belonging, purpose, safety.
One way she learned to help combat this mental illness was with the help of Shug, whom she called her psychological support dog. Judd was accompanied by Shug during an interview with Nightline and admitted that even though she was able to function without her dog, having her animals around made life better. But in 2017, Judd broke the news to People that Shug had passed away. She spoke about her dog's death at the old age of 17, later telling the Christian Post, "Dogs practice presence. They love us exactly as we are. Sometimes that's all we need. Just sitting with someone and letting our empathy flow is the greatest helpfulness." Throughout her life, Judd has required more than her dog to face her battle with depression. And in 2006, the actress entered a treatment center in Texas to confront issues of isolation, codependency, and depression. She told Glamour the following year, "I needed help. I was in so much pain." At an earlier time, while she was visiting her sister Wynonna at the facility where the singer was receiving treatment for food addiction, Ashley was approached by counselors who advised her that she and her sister were no doubt experiencing similar issues due to the trauma they both experienced during childhood. Ashley remembered. "They said, 'No one ever does an intervention on people like you. You look too good, you're too smart and together, but you and Wynonna come from the same family, so you come from the same wound. No one had validated my pain before." According to Ashley, her treatment was a success. She said, "I was unhappy and now I'm happy. Now even when I'm having a rough day, it's better than my best day before treatment." In March 2013, a Fox News report quoted an anonymous insider who claimed that Ashley Judd was planning on mounting a 2014 run for the U.S. Senate. According to the source, Judd was mulling the notion of running as a Democrat to challenge longtime incumbent Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, the insider alleged. At least in Ashley's mind, it is happening. She has devoted herself to many important causes and stepped away from the Hollywood spotlight, so this seems like the logical next step.
Favorite thing about working in Hollywood?
Leaving.
But less than a month later, the wheels fell off Judd's campaign before it even started, when she was unable to gain support from the state's Democratic establishment. According to HuffPost, Kentucky Democratic bigwigs believed Judd was, quote, too Hollywood, and critics even managed to crank out a satirical ad against her.
Someone from out of state who understands us hillbillies.
I don't know a lot of hillbillies who golf. Hillbillies, hillbillies, hillbillies.
Judd ultimately declared in a statement via USA Today, "After serious and thorough contemplation, I realize that my responsibilities and energy at this time need to be focused on my family. Regretfully, I am currently unable to consider a campaign for the Senate." Judd is a big fan of college baseball, and the Kentucky native was deeply engaged while watching the 2015 Southeastern Conference Championship game between Arkansas and Kentucky. At one point, she shared her opinion in a since-deleted tweet claiming that Arkansas was, quote, playing dirty. As The Hollywood Reporter pointed out, that caused an online backlash, as ticked-off Arkansas fans began attacking her viciously on social media. It was all nasty enough that it inspired Judd to post an essay for Mike, admitting she'd been the target of ugly social media attacks before. She wrote, "This particular tsunami of gender-based violence and misogyny flooding my Twitter feed was overwhelming. Online harassers use the slightest excuse, or no excuse at all, to dismember our personhood. My tweet was simply the convenient delivery system for rage toward women that lurks perpetually."
The amount of gender violence that I experience is absolutely extraordinary.
Per The Hollywood Reporter, Judd's decision to speak out against her haters unfortunately sparked yet another round of social media vitriol against her. At some point in the early 2010s, fans noticed that Judd looked, well, different than she had before. Radar Online contacted a plastic surgeon to the stars who offered his opinion that the movie star may have reportedly received, quote, a good dose of Botox in her forehead, along with filler in her cheeks. But a rep for Judd blasted the speculation, telling E! News, "Ashley has been battling an ongoing serious sinus infection and flu. Therefore, Ashley has been on a heavy dose of medication to overcome it so she could get on a plane and travel to Toronto and New York to fulfill her commitment of completing 4 consecutive days of press to promote her new show, Missing."
They were talking about the same woman, the same appearance, and the same day looking the same way. And some said, she looks bad, she's had work. She looks too good, she's clearly had work.
Judd herself fired back in a lengthy essay she wrote for the Daily Beast, and the reason she chose to comment on the hearsay about her appearance at all was because of its systemic nature. She explained, "The conversation was pointedly nasty, gendered, and misogynistic, and embodies what all girls and women in our culture, to a greater or lesser degree, endure every day, in ways both outrageous and subtle." Judd also slammed the media for its role in perpetuating the bias.
We're going to burn down the patriarchy and build a more equitable and safe and just society for everybody.
During a 2015 interview with Variety, Judd became one of the first women to speak out against the man who would later be named as movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. At the time, she claimed of the unnamed Hollywood vet, "I was sexually harassed by one of our industry's most famous, admired/reviled bosses." Recounting a situation that occurred with the producer while she was making the 1997 thriller Kiss the Girls, the actress noted that similar incidents had happened to several other women in the industry. After accepting an invitation to talk business in his hotel room, she claimed, he asked, "Will you watch me take a shower?" and then I got out of there. And by the way, I've never been offered a movie by that studio, ever.
Good job, kid. You got out of there. Well done.
That predator was unmasked 2 years later in journalist Ronan Farrow's blockbuster expose for The New Yorker, in which multiple women detailed their own allegations of being harassed and, in some cases, assaulted by Weinstein. Judd was not among the women to speak out in Farrow's article, but she subsequently confirmed that it was indeed Weinstein she had previously referenced to Variety. She told The New York Times, "Women have been talking about Harvey amongst ourselves for a long time, and it's simply beyond time to have the conversation publicly." She would become one of the first of at least 100 women, including dozens of Hollywood actresses, to publicly accuse Weinstein of misconduct. By coming forward about Weinstein, Judd also became one of the faces of the Me Too movement. And during a 2018 panel discussion, Judd opened up about the systemic harassment she'd experienced throughout her Hollywood career. Per Entertainment Weekly, Judd recalled one of her very first auditions. It yielded a screen test, and I was asked to take my shirt off. According to Judd, she was in competition for the role with another actress, but refused the request. She added, "I said, that isn't about our acting, that's about evaluating a pair of breasts." And the answer was not no, but hell no. In the wake of Judd's accusations against Weinstein, director Peter Jackson added another alleged wrinkle by offering evidence that Judd's refusal to succumb to Weinstein's advances came at a high cost to her career.
He had a reputation. Let's put it that way. He just really had a reputation.
When casting his blockbuster The Lord of the Rings trilogy, Jackson claimed to Stuff that he had been warned not to hire Judd and fellow actress Mira Sorvino, whose alleged run-in with Weinstein was shockingly similar to what Judd had experienced. Jackson said, "I recall Miramax telling us they were a nightmare to work with and we should avoid them at all costs. In hindsight, I now suspect we were fed false information about both of these talented women, and as a direct result, their names were removed from our casting list." Jackson's revelation confirmed Judd's belief that Weinstein had deliberately attempted to crush her career in retaliation for her refusal to sleep with him. Armed with this evidence, she took Weinstein to court.
Make strong female friendships, have strong female-to-female alliances.
In 2018, Judd launched a lawsuit against Weinstein alleging defamation and harassment. At the heart of the suit was Judd's claim that she was in discussions for what could have been a career-making role in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, before Weinstein badmouthed her to Peter Jackson. Judd told ABC News, "I lost career opportunity. I lost money. I lost status and prestige and power in my career as a direct result of having been harassed and rebuffing the harassment." Early the following year, BBC News reported that a judge dismissed Judd's harassment claims on a technicality. The law cited in the suit, which had recently been altered to include producers and directors, was not retroactive and therefore was not relevant to her claims. But the judge's ruling did permit Judd to proceed with her defamation claim. An appeals court then reversed this initial decision in July 2020, according to the Associated Press, ruling that Weinstein held power over Judd's career, thus giving her the green light to pursue her harassment claim. By that time, Weinstein was already several months into serving a 23-year prison sentence after being found guilty of rape and sexual assault. While she admits she'll never forgive Weinstein after digging deep into her faith in God, Judd told ABC News that she would say to Weinstein now,
I love you and I understand that you are sick and suffering, and there is help for a guy like you, too.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.